When we calculate the percentage yield, we are going to use an equation, guys. The equation is the percentage yield is equal to the actual yield. In this video, we are going to focus on the percentage yield in chemistry section, how to calculate the percentage yield, and I'm mainly going to focus on how to solve the problems, what ideas we need to develop, and what we need to mainly focus on solving these problems. So I will be doing mostly questions that had appeared in our exam papers. First of all, I'm just going to give you a very quick introduction about the percentage yield, and then I'm going to tell you how to calculate the percentage yield using an equation, and then we will see some of the problem solving questions. Right, we will start now. Now, in any chemical reaction, there will be a yield. Yield is the product that is gained in a chemical reaction. So, some chemical reactions can have one product, or some can have more than one product. When there are more than one product, sometimes the products will be useful product and a waste product. We are not going to consider or focus on the main product or the waste product. We are going to mainly concern about the product that is being asked to calculate its percentage yield. So I'm going to take a very simple example and I'm going to explain to you how to calculate the percentage yield. Let's take the thermal decomposition of calcium carbonate. You all know when the calcium carbonate is thermally decomposed, it will form calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. So let's say that our question asks to calculate the percentage yield of calcium carbonate. In the thermal decomposition of calcium carbonate, there are two products that are being made, the calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. Say our question asks to calculate the percentage yield of calcium oxide. So we are going to mainly focus on calculating the percentage yield of calcium oxide. Right. When we calculate the percentage yield, we are going to use an equation, guys. The equation is the percentage yield is equal to the actual yield divided by the theoretical yield times 100. So the percentage yield is equal to actual yield divided by the theoretical yield times 100. Let's see what is this actual yield and the theoretical yield. The theoretical yield is the yield that is gained in a chemical reaction when we write it in theory. When we write the equation and when we calculate the formula mass of a compound, that formula mass is going to be the theoretical yield. The mass of the compound is going to be the theoretical yield. For an example, we said we are going to focus on calcium oxide because that is our question to calculate the percentage yield. So the mass of calcium oxide you are going to calculate. Calcium it's 40 and oxygen is 16, which is going to give us 56. So 56 grams of calcium oxide is going to be equal to 1 mole. Right. Now, when we thermally decompose 1 mole of calcium carbonate, we will be getting 56 grams of calcium oxide in theory. Therefore, 56 grams of calcium oxide is our theoretical yield. Right, now we will see how many grams 1 mole of calcium carbonate is going to be. When you calculate the calcium carbonate, the mass, calcium is 40, carbon is 12, and there are 3 oxygen atoms present, therefore it is 3 times 16, which is equal to 100. This 100 grams is equal to 1 mole of calcium carbonate. Therefore, when we burn 100 grams of calcium carbonate, in theory, we will be getting 56 grams of calcium oxide. Here you go. Now, we are going to do this experiment in our laboratory and you are going to get your practical yield. You have been given 100 grams of calcium carbonate. You are going to thermally decompose it and you are going to get the actual yield of calcium oxide. Say the student did the experiment and the student got the actual yield as 40 grams. That is the actual yield the student got. So we know our theoretical yield. Now we know our actual yield. We are going to calculate the percentage yield. So if we are going to substitute the values on the formula, so our percentage yield is equal to the actual yield, which is 40 grams, divided by the theoretical yield we calculated as 56 grams times 100 is equal to 71.4 percentage. So therefore, our percentage yield of calcium carbonate is 71.4. Hope you guys got the how to calculate the percentage yield. I will be showing more of the calculations to y'all because the percentage yield is a very simple way to calculate, but when it appears for a 5 or 6 mark question in our paper, it's slightly a different way. We need to develop our ideas and we need to work according to that idea to get the percentage yield. So I will be focusing more on calculating and showing you how to develop the idea and do the sums.